I woke up super early this morning with one dream. I've been thinking about this for a few days, tried to do it on stream last night, couldn't manage it. I want to try getting a morsel only reform build. So maximum one additional unit, champion, morsels. Don't know if I can get it to work, but I have a dream. I'm gonna try it. Let's see if we can make this work. So we're gonna go Melting Remnant Umbra, and again, I'm only allowed to keep one other unit by Seraph. All the rest of the units are morsels. Not the best start to make it happen, although Crushing Demise with holdover and a morsel production could actually make this work. All right, so we're gonna try it. So again, the goal is morsel only reform build. I'm allowed to keep one other unit. Let's give it a shot. Let's see what we start with. Okay. The question is Flicker Liquor. Flicker Liquor is fantastic if you get high cost spells. Basically, you can make them play for free, especially with the idea that we're going to be hopefully reforming a bunch of morsels. You know what? Before I even get into that, I should... Yeah, okay. I should have checked the champion first to see if I already got the reform champion, but yeah, this is tough. Flicker's Liquor means that I could stack a lot of spells. I'm especially thinking of, there is the spell that gives you damage shield to all the units on your floor, and then grants you additional morsels, which would be fantastic with Flicker's Liquor. It's normally 4 cost, you could get it for free. Deal 2 damage to the rear enemy unit when a morsel is eaten. The idea is we put our champion on the middle or bottom floor, and then as the morsels get reformed and reformed and reformed, they become basically insane. So I don't know if we're looking to eat all of them necessarily, but honestly, Flicker's Liquor is so good. It enables you to have just tons of high cost cards, as well as enabling the Ember Drain cards. Because if you have all the Ember Drain cards, basically anytime you play a free morsel, even if you're completely Ember Drained, you can still play out the rest of your hand. So I actually like the idea of Flicker's Liquor. We're going with... Yes, okay, we got the reform. Mandatory to make this deck work, you have to have the reformed champion. This is my theory craft. You have to have this champion in order to make it work. And I think getting an early, where is it? Crushing Demise. If I can get holdover on this, I think we can make the deck work, because with all of the morsels coming back, if I can get this every turn, that's hopefully allowing me to kill off top units. If I duplicate it, if I could have 2 or 3 of these each turn and just use morsels to, Crushing Demise every floor. The biggest issue is going to be taking out the bosses, but that's where reforming the morsels and having them be insanely strong by the end, even having morsels on their own floor, not getting eaten, but stacked with tons of stats from getting reformed, and then I mean, by then they should have a lot of burnout. So yeah, again, theorycraft, I'm hoping that it works. Starting from the beginning, having enemies appear on each floor. I think we're going to need the coins quite early, and we can chump block. Let's see, how would we do it with the rage units? What do we have? Crushing Demise and Dregs. If I get Entombed Explosives, that can help with the top floor. And then just chump blocking for my champion early on, that might be enough to get me through. And as I said, I think we're going to need a lot of spell improvements and a lot of well, not really unit improvements, but a lot of spell improvements just to make the deck work. Okay, so we can start with Entombed Explosion. That will help take out one of them. And I think we do need to play on the top floor to start. We put Rector Flicker. And I need a chump block with at least 1 unit. So let's get that. We can even double chump block, because we'll get the morsels back and they'll be reformed. One of them will be reformed with enough health to chump block the second row. Do we have enough zero cost stuff right now? With dregs, I think we're okay, and we only need 1 mana to play out an entombed explosive or a trained steward, and that will allow us to trigger the free spell. So I think getting rage on our champion. Well, do we need rage now? Can we stack it? We have 2 of them, 2 perils of production. As I said, we don't really need a lot of mana, or sorry, we don't really need a lot of ember, because we have Flicker's Liquor. That's really what's enabling us to hopefully take a lot of high damage spells, but we'll see how it goes. All right, so let's put it on him now. I think we can start stacking it early. We're gonna need a lot of damage to get through the boss. We can take a few hits. Let's see, can he tank? This guy should be able to tank 2 hits now. I can't use Crushing Demise without with my champion on the same floor. So if we get a Trained Steward, he'll block 2 of the hits. We can get the Morsel out to block another hit, and we can then add more rage, get out a drag, and then Crushing Demise it just to get rid of some of the units there. And again, we are going to take some damage early, but I think getting the early coins is really going to be mandatory for us to succeed in the challenge. So, alright, get another Entombed Explosion out. This floor, they're all going to end up doing 1 damage. So one morsel should be able to chump block for the whole row. So in that case, let's stack some units on the bottom floor. We can put a drag up here. And we can put rage onto one of the train stewards. Get a drag. Put out another train steward with 2 drags. We're killing off 1, 2. If we chump block with one of these here. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Then this keeps the drag alive, meaning we kill off 1 more. We can take basically 1 less damage. Taking 7 damage is fine. How do we want to do this last one? We don't need a Crushing Demise. They're both going to die. I think adding more rage onto our champion. Well, we could Crushing Demise. No, I think let's get some Shade Splitters out. Hopefully we can get some that buff. Yeah, that's what we need. We need something to buff our champion. We can use this one to go behind our train steward and do some damage. And then we can toss another one here. Actually, that drag's pretty good. That might be able to help us kill the boss. Now the question is, do we have him block for our champion? I think we do. So we get Ember, Rage there. And then, again, that's enough to kill him. We can toss in this guy just to block even more damage. Alright, so first battle, a little bit dicey. We ended up trading 7 Pyre health for 75 coin. And again, we're not looking for units here. Wicklash is great. And I really like Mind Collapse. It's a way, again, to enable the Flicker's Liquor. Or, sorry, let me say that again. It's a way to enable more Ember Drain cards, because we can use Mind Collapse with any additional spell. And then, with any magic damage, we can enable Mind Collapse which will gain us Ember even if we start with 0 Ember at the beginning of the battle or of the round. But Space Prism also could be quite valuable for us. We're for sure not going to need any Ember, so likely we're going to go for draw, and do we need capacity? If we're only playing morsels, they only take up 1 space. We can already stack 5 of them on a single floor. That might be enough. So then draw is going to be most important for us. What is going to most enable reform on our... not really any of these, but Mind Collapse is a good way to just get some cheap damage out. So I think that's going to be most valuable for us. We don't need the capacity. We possibly might have needed the... oh, please hold over. Yes, okay, we got hold over. Now, yeah, I think we need it on Crushing Demise. Just to clear out high health units. Get -1 on it to make it free. Alternatively, we get -1 on Wicklash and make it free. Getting holdover on Wicklash would also be excellent, but I think the Crushing Demise, if I look at the map, we will need to duplicate it. So we have 1 Hellvent, we have 2 Hellvents, 3 Hellvents. So by the end, we could potentially have a constant revolving... I shouldn't even check the Seraph. Temperate strength of the units, that's fine. So we can just continue to use a revolving Crushing Demise on our morsels to basically clear out floors. So as long as they only have up to 3 enemy units on a floor, and then, so the question is, do we make it free? Do we need it to be free? If we're playing morsels every turn, we actually don't need to reduce any spell costs. As long as our champion stays alive, we will guarantee every turn that that we have a unit to play for 0 cost. So I feel like... we should be okay, because we're going to upgrade him to reform twice, so then by the end with 3, so that will be 3 units every single turn that we can play for 0 cost, which means that we will get at least 3 cards every single turn that we will reduce to 0. So I think we should be fine. We definitely want Mind Collapse to have energy just in case. But I don't think we need to waste any of our coin on reducing spell damage. Holdover costs 85. So if we get a second holdover, we got double stack. But we can do... Do we want Mind Collapse to consume? Probably not. So I think I didn't get much value out of that reroll. But we can get rid of a Train Steward and work our way down to, as I said, I think I'll accept 1 additional unit. Do we want a unit draft now? Let me check the next area. What would we get? I think we will go for the Horde and the Pyre, because it could be that we take additional damage on this turn or in this battle as well. Concealed Caverns, yeah, so we'll probably end up going this way. So let's take the unit draft now. We shouldn't need to worry about the extra damage as long as we can get off... sorry, as long as we can get our... what is it called? Crushing Demise running. And I think we want the Rector Flicker on the bottom floor. Or no, we actually want him on the second floor. Because then if units are dying above him, he can reform them. So that's one of the interactions, is that your Rector Flicker will trigger his resolve, or actually all units trigger their resolve on after their floor finishes all actions. So if you have a unit die on the first floor, but your Rector Flicker is on the second or top floor, then he will not reform any of the morsels. So we're going to put him on the second floor to try to take advantage of it. But remember, we want to keep this bottom floor completely clear so that we can continue to use Crushing Demise after every turn. It's basically the only way with this type of deck that we're going to be able to kill high health units, because our morsels won't scale fast enough. They should scale fast enough for the boss, but they won't scale fast enough for some of these early high health units. Luckily, we do have an Entombed Explosive, so we can use that to put 35 damage on this first unit. A Dreg's going to instantly die. We need at least one Shade Splitter on the same row as our champion so that we can already start reforming them. And I think we want the... Well, let's see here. If we put the Dreg behind the Rubble Morsel, because we don't need the energy, and I'd rather bring this guy back anyway. So we will be able to kill this guy. We are going to get one trigger of Sinner's Burden, but then he'll die very easily to our Rector Flicker or to any chump blocker we can put in front. So we get the Drag back out, we get the Rubble Morsel. So that will kill the Forged Disciple, which is really the one we're worried about. We can get some lifesteal and damage onto our champion, who will then reform it. Okay, so we got Crushing Demise back. Ideally, who do we want to kill with Crushing Demise? We want to get rid of the Forged Disciple. I don't know if we can guarantee it. Let's start getting Rage onto our champion. This guy's going to die no matter what. Let's hope we get the Forged Disciple. We did not. Although getting rid of the Sinner's Burden is also okay. As a chump blocker, he will die. I think it's better... Here's the question. Do we want to put him on the second floor? He will get... Well, there's a chance that he'll get reformed, but we have any one of these three. Tombed Explosive would be fine to get reformed, because then we can do some heavy damage to this Disciple Protector. The Dreg would be not ideal. We can chump block with him, but he's not going to really do a lot of damage. If we get the Morsel Excavator, that would be fantastic. We'll only get the Morsel Excavator if we put it on the same floor as our champion, though. I don't want the Train Steward to come back. So this is the question. We can guarantee 7 damage against this Disciple Protector, but I still think it would be better to do it like this. Plus, we get more lifesteal on our champion, more damage on our champion. And then the question is, do we put the Train Steward maybe on the top floor as a backup in case the boss... I don't think the boss is going to get through here, but the Train Steward's just going to die if we put him on the bottom floor. So let's put him on the top for now. The nice thing is, as well, is Flicker's Liquor does trigger on Scourges. So from an Ember perspective, even with Ember Drain, we're not at any risk of... there's not a huge risk for... We have to use Crushing Demise. We're just gonna... Sorry, I said a lot of things at once. We're not at any risk of having him die. We can chump block here with the Entombed Explosive. That will take out the Disciple Protector. And then we can Crushing Demise on the top floor this Forged Disciple. So we should be just fine. Now the question is... Do we want our any Shade Splitters up there? I don't think so. I think we're stacking them all with our Rector Flicker. Makes sense. Let's put another Train Steward on top, or actually let's put him on the bottom now, because we want to Crushing Demise up here to get rid of the Forged Disciple if we can't do enough damage. And we don't need to do Crushing Demise here. Let's just put some extra damage on the Forged Disciple. Actually, you probably will die without having to use... Oh, I didn't play it. Oh, crap. Okay. I think we're still okay. Let's get Rage onto our champion. We just need one Drag up here in the right place in order to take out the Forged Disciple. Getting Wicklash onto this Dreg. just to do some extra damage. We can chump block some more. We only take he only takes 14 damage. This is going to be tough. We can Mind Collapse one of them. Chump block. Get rid of the Sinner's Burden. Take out one of them. Get another drag out. Could be a little dicey. If we put this behind, he will get lifesteal. The problem is that their combined damage kill him outright. So we can put another drag and get the morsel behind. We're only going to put 18 damage. I mean, he will die to our pyre, and I don't think he'll be able to kill us. He would have to hit us 10 times, and that will kill him. And I think we'll be able to do more damage to him on this top floor. Yeah, I really made the mistake when I didn't play out the... I didn't play out my Crushing Demise. That really screwed me. Just getting more damage onto our Train Steward and getting an extra chump blocker in might be the ticket. This gives him 3 damage. This is not going to block enough. This keeps our... yeah, this is the best play because it keeps our drag alive a little bit longer. He can do an extra 27 damage, which... does that put us below the threshold? That would be 131. So we will take... we'll take 11 damage. But we will survive for another fight. What we need is... does Drip Fall make sense? We need to get rid of Train Stewards. We need to have more consistent Shade Splitters. Yeah, we need to get rid of a lot of cards because we really want our Entombed Explosions to come back. Let's see what unit draft we get. Let's take the Drip Fall for now. And Morsel Miner. Morsel Maker. We're picking the one extra unit that we want to add. Do we want one of them to be our permanent extra unit? If so, which one? We don't actually want extra burnout on our morsels. We want them to die. I'm thinking we do a morsel maker on the same floor as our champion to guarantee we get morsels every turn. It is going to pollute our pool to reform from, so we really need to get a good reform spell as quickly as possible. So any reform spell is going to be an auto pick, and then I think getting the morsel maker is going to bring the most benefit because then we can buff up our champion while we are reforming back more and more units. So we are going to go this path. We need the pyre health to try to survive the next battles. Grant 3 stacks of burnout, no, but do we have any consume cards right now? I don't think so, but we can get some later on. But I don't want, the other option didn't make sense because we're not trying to keep our burnout units alive. We want them to die so that they can be reformed stronger. Okay, here's a draft pick. Let's see what we get. We'll probably just take the money. Additional magic. Yeah, Siren Song might be useful just to... Alternatively, Offering could be really useful. Discard the hand, draw 5 more. We can play it at the end. So if we, with Flicker's Liquor, we can play out our hand. Normally we're going to have 0 cost units to play to take advantage of Flicker's Liquor, getting Deep Offering to be free. We play it, and then we get 5 additional cards that we can play. This is a good enablement card to just get more stuff done each turn. And if we can remove Consume, we don't really care about the Ember cost of our cards because we are always going to have 0 cost units in our hand, which can then be used to, yeah, our zero cost units can be used to make all other cards 0 cost. So I think we do want to go with Rector Flicker, Morsel Maker, put Shade Splitter. So let's use the Shade Splitter now. This Train Steward is just going to die, but that might be okay. We can bring him back with bonus stats. Let's Mind Collapse to get rid of one of them. Put our Morsel Maker behind, get our first reformable Morsel. This is going to be an issue that we can't chump block for our champion. He'll survive the next hit because they're only going to do 9 damage. But we do need to find... we really need to get our Crushing Demise out as quickly as possible. So with... yeah, oh, he's only going to take 6 because of the healing that he gets at the end from the Morsel. We can start stacking Rage on him, or we can put Rage on something else just to put more damage on these guys. The problem is, I don't know if we're going to be able to survive past this. Let me think. We may end up having to do a Crushing Demise YOLO on this second row. Let's get... if we do, we can put 1, 2, 3, 4 units down. We just need the last unit to be able to survive the rest of the damage. Shade Splitter. We do... this guy can survive... okay, so we do him in front. He will tank... he will tank the first 2 hits. He tanks the 3rd hit. The Drag will tank the explosion, and the last Drag will then be able to attack. Did I do that wrong? What's the order of... oh, because it's the double explosion. Okay, so we end up just dumping a bunch of units, but I think we need a second attack. So we'll use the Rage on our Morsel Maker to make sure that all the units are dying. Let's see, this is where we have the problem now. And we have the bomb. So let's Crushing Demise and hope that it doesn't hit our champion. Very lucky. We can then put our Train Steward up top. We can put our Train Steward on bottom. We can Entombed Explosion, which at least will take out this top unit, and then we can Drip Fall the bomb so that it's killing this Train Steward instead of killing our Entombed Explosive. That was very close. we almost just lost right then, so we had to do a major RNG check here with Crushing Demise. I think we can survive the next attack as long as we don't get a bomb in the middle floor again, which we shouldn't because he should alternate. But that was incredibly close. Okay. We definitely need to play out another Crushing Demise, and I think we will use Entombed Explosion to take out the first unit. Now, if I use this... okay, let's see. If I put... I should have done that first. That was a mistake. Well, actually, Entombed Explosion will take out 2 units right now. Let's use the drag. Let's use the drag. Yeah, this is fine. He only takes 1 damage, and we put a lot of damage on that unit. Put out the drag. Now Crushing Demise is free. Do we have any? We will have 0 costs, so let's use that. Great, we took out the haste. Then we can do 1 Shade Splitter. Putting the Morsel down will allow us to do the 2nd Shade Splitter, and we'll keep... Well, we should put this one out, actually. I think we try to protect our Train Steward here, and getting this guy back would be really advantageous. So then we can use Deep Offering to draw 5 more cards and take out one of those units. It may have been smart to play it here, but anyway, we will get a Morsel Miner, which is great. We can hopefully put that up top onto our Train Steward. We just gotta figure out a way to survive them here. Getting another drag on the bottom makes a lot of sense. We can now get our Morsel Miner. We can put a drag up here. Get the Morsel Miner to buff up our Train Steward. Put Wicklash onto our unit there to do some extra damage onto the Forged Disciple. We can put some Rage onto our Morsel Maker to do even more damage. And then we should be in the clear. We got the Morsel Miner back, that's fantastic. 4 Rage is not going to be enough. Putting the Morsel Miner means we kill this unit. Do we want to use Crushing Demise on the bottom floor or the top floor? I don't think we would be able to kill this unit otherwise, but if Crushing Demise hits the front unit... Let me think. What's going to be the best play? If we put that behind, it does guarantee a kill on the front unit. The second unit will do 4 damage to us. I think that that's reasonable. So now, what do we want to do down here? Do we want to go for an additional Morsel Miner up top? We want to Mind Collapse the bomb. That would be the worst unit to die. If we get either one of these units, then we're fine. So let's Mind Collapse the bomb. And now the question is, do we try to 50-50 it with a Shade Splitter? Or do we put 2 Shade Splitters up top? Let's see which one we get first. Magma Morsel. Getting more damage onto our Train Steward would not be bad. And then we could do 8 damage to the Forged Disciple, which doesn't really make a difference. Yeah, in either case, we should be in good shape. Do we 50-50 it? Honestly, it really doesn't matter. Yeah, this guy can go up to the top floor, and then we can stick 2 Morsel Miners up here and get an extra 3 damage there. And let's continue to stack Rage onto our back unit just to try to get more damage out of him. Final wave. Okay, so this guy's gonna die. We can put out do we want the drag up top? We probably want the drag up top, and then we can Wicklash it, assuming this needs to hit one of the Shade Splitters. Excellent. So then we can put out the first Shade Splitter and Crushing Demise to get rid of the front unit. I think we're gonna survive. I think we're gonna be able to kill the boss. We have 27 damage. That's not really a lot. If we enrage here, that increases to 37. If we drip fall, which one? The Train Steward? I think we drip fall the Train Steward. That adds 152 damage. I don't think we're going to be able to kill it. We can, I mean, we can put it up here. Doesn't really matter. If we add 2 Shade Splitter, or 1 Shade Splitter, second Shade Splitter, that gives us damage shield 2 onto our onto our drag. So we will be able to get a couple of attacks out of our drag. If we get Wicklash, he'll survive even longer. Well, let's see how it goes. We might already be done. So we want Shade Splitter behind, and a second Shade Splitter, Wicklash, and Mind Collapse. I think he's gonna kill us. So we'll have to try it for a second run. Yeah, we could have saved ourselves a ton of damage on the last battle, but we'll try again. I have basically 2 hours to try this, so we can do several runs. So run number 1, unsuccessful. We did make some bad plays. Second run, this is looking more favorable. We don't get the... can't remember what it's called, the spell that kills one of your units and then kills a random enemy unit. We don't get that spell, but we do get a Fatal Melting, which is a way to take advantage of our morsels dying, to deal spell damage to the entire floor. 5 damage when a burnout unit dies. That's really great. Because we want reform. We want to reform our morsels. They'll have burnout 1, and then we can use them to do an instant 5 damage to front enemy units. So this actually might be a stronger setup for us, because we have AoE, which is what we were missing in the last fight, and with our new relic, we will get a lot of burnout units that we can use. I think we're going to be in much better shape. I mean, we'll see. Do we care about units appearing on each floor? If we get dregs, if we get entombed explosives, and our champion can take... So we just need 2 chump blockers. If we get 2 chump blockers, we can put our champion on the top floor and should be able to clear out all the units. I think we can do it. We really need the coin early to maximize upgrades on our spells. We don't have Flicker's Liquor this time, so it's going to be a little bit more challenging. Okay, we got the Entombed Explosion. That's about the best thing we could hope for. Because then we can get a Morsel Miner, and Morsel Miners... It still can't take a full hit. This will kill the first unit. This Train Steward will then die. And one of those 2 will come back for free. Is that more valuable? Yeah, it's more valuable than a Morsel Miner at this point. The Morsel Miners will become more valuable later on, but I think we need to tank a hit with the Entombed Explosive, and then with our Train Steward. Do we get a Shade Splitter out? You know, we should have put a Morsel on this floor and put him on the bottom floor, because he could actually start doing some damage on the Disciple Protector, but it is what it is. We'll take out 2 of them and take 3 pyre damage. I think that's completely reasonable. And we want this guy to die because we would like to get him back eventually. This would have been a fantastic one to put on the top floor, but it is what it is. We get the Entombed Explosive back. Now he can tank 2 hits. And he's Burnout. So now that he has Burnout, he will actually trigger twice, which means that he alone takes out the whole floor. That's fantastic. We can stack Burnout units on this floor to do additional damage. We want to actually split the Burnout units up to spread the amount of damage they're doing. And I think we want a Shade Splitter up top to give damage shield. That's great, damage shield on our Rector Flicker. And then I think, do we want to block for them to get them 9 extra damage? I think down here, no. But on the second floor, that would make sense to tank. The 9 damage is going to be more useful for us, and there's no way we're going to get the Collector, so we'll just let it die. We got back the Entombed Explosive again. Fatal Melting is now doing 18 damage. That will clear out the top floor for us. Do we need it to? Extra 5 damage here and a Dreg. If we put the Dreg up front, it will do 5. Entombed Explosive won't do enough damage here, but I think we want to put it on the bottom floor with the expectation that it will do a lot of damage to the boss when he comes. Getting the Drag out on this floor and adds an extra 9 damage. We can even tank with it. And now the question is, do we want the Morsel Miner? Or do we reduce damage? I think we do it like that, and we get the Shade Splitter on the top. Okay, so this is so far going much better than our first run did, or our first attempt did. I think getting now the Entombed Explosive would make sense. We want the damage shield. What do we want the damage shield onto? Our Train Steward, maybe? Let's put another Drag out here, and he's almost dead. So then, I think getting this onto our Train Steward, it's going to guarantee that we kill the boss on the next floor. Why is he dying? Is it to a random unit? To enemy units, it does the entire floor. Yeah, that's insane. That's gonna be so strong. When we're reforming 2 units per turn, we get rid of all these Train Stewards, and we're just playing Morsels. Yeah, our Morsels are just going to destroy AoE all the enemies every turn. What we have to decide is what unit we're going to keep at the end. I think keeping one of these Entombed Explosives could be really valuable for us. It's a 35. So after the first time it dies, so the first time it dies, it does 35 damage. Every subsequent time that it dies, it's going to do 35 damage plus 5 AoE. And we can just continue to make it stronger and stronger and stronger. Fatal Melting is going to become also insane. If we can lower the cost and duplicate it, even better. So I think we're definitely set up stronger than we were on the last attempt. Let's get just some units out and finish this battle. Yeah, putting this one Drag out kills him, or we can just do a Fatal Melting. Alright, let's see how it goes. We tried Wicklash, and that didn't really help out last time. I think Dripfall could be well, I've got to think long term. Dripfall is good defensively to move units down, And if we stack enemy floors, we take more advantage of the AoE on the whole floor. That could be beneficial. We could have issues with Ember compared to the last run. So, okay, we won't take Whiplash. The question is Dripfall valuable enough for us? If we can make it lower cost or get holdover, then it might be more interesting. Any thoughts from viewers? Take the Dripfall, get the Descend, or not? I think I'm really nervous about Ember. Let's take it. We'll take it. Packed Morsels. Ooh, Packed Morsels or Mind Collapse. We definitely like more Morsels. But I'm almost wondering if we just focus on our Morsel Miners. If we bring back 2 Morsel Miners every turn, they just get out of hand very quickly. And they're going to be the best units to put with our Rector Flicker because they actually improve his stats. Getting Packed Morsels means we might get morsels that are not so valuable for us. And Mind Collapse is a pretty good way to get more energy as long as we get more magic damage on it. It's our only damage spell right now. So if we have any magic damage upgrades, we'll be able to take advantage of those. We don't want to consume unless... Oh no, actually we have a Fatal Melting as our other damage spell, our AoE damage spell. I actually like upgrading Mind Collapse and then removing the Consume. So it's just 20 damage for 2 Ember. And then lowering the cost of either of these is going to... Honestly, lowering the cost of any of our spells is really valuable right now. I think being able to guarantee a Morsel Miner, being able to guarantee a Dripfall, or being able to play out Dripfall or Fatal Melting. I think Fatal Melting right now. Second priority is Morsel Maker. We got Holdover, but we can't play it, or we can't get it because it's too expensive. Which is a pity. Getting Holdover on a Fatal Melting would mean we'd have a guaranteed AoE spell every turn. We can reduce its cost, making it free, or making a Morsel, get a Morsel Miner for free. And then we can upgrade the damage of a Fatal Melting. That's very useful early, because we don't have units dead on the first turn, so this becomes a dead card if we get it, but now it's not a dead card. We can do an instant 10 AoE damage and go on to the next battle. We shouldn't care about damage because we want our units to die to take advantage of our trigger. And that does give us an option, unit draft, for potentially the unit that we're going to carry with us through the rest of the fight. Okay, so I think this one's pretty straightforward. We put Rector Flicker on the second floor. Getting the drag out will kill this unit and put a lot of damage on the Forged Disciple. We want a Shade Splitter here so that we have something to reform. And then dumping a lot of damage onto the Forged Disciple makes the most sense here. Now we can chump block with the Morsel. Alternatively, we can do 5 AoE onto the bottom floor and still chump block with a Morsel Miner. That, I think, makes the most sense. So we get this guy out, and order now becomes very important. He's going to die no matter what. Getting the 2 dregs up front Adds another 5 AoE to each. We play the train steward out up top to get the collector. We want the morsel miner. We chump block with the energy, and then we put the morsel miner in to buff up our rector flicker, and it also allows us to bring back that morsel miner when we reform. We didn't. We brought back another energy morsel, but I think we're still okay. That will kill this floor. That guy's already dead. Do we want to block with the train steward? Let it die? No, we... That just kills the floor. And then we want this morsel miner to have a chance to get reformed. What other morsel do we get? And we can put this on one of our train stewards. So we're definitely in a much better shape than we were on the last attempt. 35 damage, 35 damage. Getting this guy in the back will clear out the rest of them and do a lot of damage. And then I think we want the morsel miner to buff up our rector flicker. We can chump block with a drag in order to... Oh. Yeah, that was not smart. We should have put him in the second position. Mistakes were made. I think we're still going to be okay, though. We can put this guy down with Dripfall. It probably doesn't make a lot of sense. Getting another drag out is another... yeah, it's another 5 AoE, and he's dead. Okay, great. And just for fun, we put Morsel Miner in front. Cool. So this is definitely going better than our last run. We died on Daedalus last time, but we started that with almost no health. So we should be in much better shape this time. Molded, fantastic. That's exactly what we needed and didn't get last time. Space Prism or Lifesteal. I think getting Lifesteal onto our Rector Flicker is quite important, and we are fine with Ember Drain because most of our stuff costs 0 or negative. And yeah, I think we're okay with 1 Ember Drain. It enables our Rector Flicker to survive. We got Morsel Maker last time. I felt like that wasn't super valuable. I almost think getting a Lady of the House might be our best bet. Paraffin Thug is also quite strong. It's between Paraffin Thug and Lady of the House. Remember, this is going to be the unit that we take with us all the way to the end. Lady of the House might make the cut. Because we can buff her quite a lot. And we don't want Morsel Maker because we would prefer to get our Morsel Miners back. So let's do Lady of the House. And then we need to start getting rid of a lot of cards now. Definitely gonna go... Ooh, actually, it might be beneficial. We do want to forge our spells, but getting some early buffs onto our Lady of the House might enable us to get through the Daedalus fight a little bit better. Just a simple increase in damage and health doesn't seem that great. Getting her damage shield so that when she reforms she comes back with a damage shield, and then trimming. So start with the Train Steward. We have a lot of cards we're going to need to trim out. Some health and caverns. Purge a card, gain a card. Great, we can get rid of another Train Steward. And what do we get? Definitely want, I think, a rare Melting Remnant card. Waxen Spike. That is pretty good on our Lady of the House. I think we'll take it. And Daedalus. So this is where we died last time. Let's see if we can be more successful on our second attempt. We got damage, shield, explosives. That's not great for us. Although we're actually okay with units dying. I'm even okay with Lady of the House dying early just so we get her back stronger. So we put Rector Flicker. We want something to die and come back. Can we risk putting Rector Flicker on the bottom floor? This is the question. That means we can only play one diamond morsel onto the, or a minor morsel onto the bottom floor at a time. I think we're gonna have to go the first turn without reforming. So we chump block with our drag so that it does 5 damage AoE. We can put our Lady of the House behind him. Put our Train Steward up top. And the question is, do we start putting damage on the boss now? We don't need the energy right now. This guy probably dies to any drag on the second floor. So I think let's start putting damage on the boss. And yeah, Entombed Explosion is going to be fantastic here. That kills the front unit. Morsel Miner to tank the hit. Makes a lot of sense. And Waxen Spike. Do you know what's great about this? With Waxen Spike, we can put Burnout onto our Entombed Explosive, making it do even more AoE damage. So this is great. And then I think we're good. So we will get back the Morsel Miner first, which we will need to tank the hit. What can we reform? Yes, definitely want to reform an Entombed Explosive just to do some extra damage there. Putting him out. I think this still does AoE. It does. So even when the Morsel Miners get consumed, if they have Burnout, it does AoE damage. And then we need to chump block with a drag. And we can do Fatal Melting. And even chump block with a second drag. Third drag. Oh, that means he's going to get the buff. That's not ideal. But it's fine. And we do 53 extra damage to the boss. Good. Another Entombed Explosive. Putting that on the bottom makes sense to me. Yes. So, or we put it here. Maybe let's put it here in order to kill off this unit when he gets to the second floor. We want a Morsel Miner. I don't really want the Morsel Miner on the Entombed Explosive, but there's not really anywhere else to put it for now. Putting the Morsel Miner here, we could then... yeah, we don't do that. It's probably still okay. It means the Entombed Explosive, if we can get it back, will have a lot of extra health, and because these are considered enhancements, and they stay onto the unit even when they're reformed. Let's see if we can get We can't get a better one to reform. I think we still want to chump block up here with this guy, so we keep our morsel or our train steward alive. So now we have a really strong morsel miner. This is kind of the direction we want to go by the end game, is just getting insanely strong morsel miners. Let's put out our other entombed explosive. As I said, oh yeah, that's fantastic. So he dies after killing this unit, so they hit and then does the 35 damage to the boss at the end. Wonder how the order of triggers is working there, because they're only doing 18 or 28. It must be that the candle triggers before the entombed explosive. Okay, so we want explosive there to put a lot of damage onto the front unit. Getting this morsel miner, that might not be the most valuable play. Does it make sense to move our Rector Flicker down at this point? Actually, putting the morsel miner here improves our Rector Flicker, and it kills it, putting more damage onto the boss, which I think is an advantage for us. Now, the question is, do we just kill off... Oh, that's right, because it does an AoE right now. Do we just kill this guy off and get 2 mana? We can drip fall something. Do we drip fall this train steward down? That probably doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't think we play drip fall then. What shade do we get? Yeah, we want to put this up here too to add additional health to our Rector Flicker. And I think just killing this thing off makes a lot of sense. We have drip fall, but there's not really any reason to use it right now, so we'll just keep it at that. We got back this big chunky morsel miner. This one as well. So he's got burnout 3. By himself, he will almost kill this front unit. He's dying after 2 hits, so if we put 1 chump blocker, or we can immortal trade him, and then we kill him and put 15 damage on the boss. That seems pretty good. Oh yeah, then we're doing 5 damage to the boss. But why isn't this guy dying? And then he should lifesteal. Very confused. He's only getting 1 hit and then dying. Why is that? He has 3 burnout. He's not getting eaten by anything. Alright, I'm at a loss, but that's fine. We can put a morsel miner up here to buff up our Rector Flicker. Put one there to chump block. And put this back here to also buff up our Rector Flicker. Now, I think we guarantee molded, and we get fatal melting, so I think between those two we should be fine with the boss. I'm very interested to see how this plays out. Not really sure how that worked. That was very strange. Alright, what do we want molded? I think we definitely want Lady of the House. And we fatal melting. And we can put a drag. Yeah, putting a drag there. And then it's dead. Okay, we're good. So, we got through Daedalus. That was where we died on the first attempt. So we're definitely looking more favorable now than we did when we started. Shroud Spike, Momentum Mori is another way to take advantage of all the units that are dying. Shroud Spike triggers the Eaten. That is a way that we can take get a lot of morsel miner stacks onto our rector flicker. But 10 times the number of units that died during battle. We had 3 times, and this did 30-something damage. So at least 10 units, that's 100 damage to a front unit. But it's mandatory that we reduce its cost, or we can't play it. Hellvent to duplicate something. I think we actually want to get rid of stuff. So we'll probably take the Unstable Vortex to get rid of more morsel miners and get an artifact. We are definitely going to do the double reform. Maybe we can afford to do this if we take extra Ember. Yeah, I think that's the play. We... Overgorger. I feel like that's too easy. We said 1 unit. We picked our 1 unit. We're sticking with it. We're skipping. That was the deal. Is we take 1 extra unit. I'm gonna... So just to be clear, I'm going to be getting rid of all these dregs. I'm going to be getting rid of the entombed explosives. The only unit I'm going to keep by the end is the Lady of the House. And then morsels. And with reforming 2 morsels per turn, they should get out of control. We have AoE with our Fatal Melting. We can even, on our first morsels, if we happen to get Wax and Spike, we can even get Burnout on our first morsels right from the get-go, increasing their damage and guaranteeing that they die doing AoE damage. So I think we have to take the Ember so we can play some of our high-cost spells. We don't really have a way of getting around that. And as much as I would like to duplicate a Fatal Melting, we need to start getting rid of units. This is Unstable Vortex here with trinkets. When do we get spell upgrades? We get Unstable Vortex with another Merchant of Magic. How many cards do we need to get rid of? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We could do an Unstable Vortex Hellvent here to duplicate. We could also take... we're going to get plenty of Unstable Vortexes. So we will, by the end, get rid of all of those. The question is, what would... I think a Fatal Melting makes a lot of sense to duplicate. Mind Collapse, Molded, Wax and Spike. Consistently having AoE damage spells. Do we need that when we have the Exploding Candle? So it's really between an artifact and the chance to duplicate. I mean, the extra coin would also be helpful because we're going to get a trinket, a trinket merchant in the next area. And we can get gold also from not taking the unit. Mind Collapse, Reform. I think we're going to be reforming just fine with our double reform champion. Fatal Melting becomes so strong by the end. That's tough. I think we will duplicate, and I just need to decide between a Fatal Melting and Mind Collapse what's going to be more beneficial for us. I think it's going to be a Fatal Melting. Yeah, I think we're going to take that. We will skip. And 2 reforms. That's what we need. The Burnout is good. I mean, don't get me wrong. Love the big, beefy Burnout Rector Flicker. But I think the goal is that our morsels get out of control. That's what we want. At the start of battle, enemy units appear on every floor. That's absolutely fine because, as we've seen, we get one burnout unit and it clears the floor. So if we get a single drag, we're going to be fine. And I don't know if you guys are aware, but we are guaranteed to get Lady of the House. The way that it's coded is every draft unit will show up. You will get at least one draft unit every single turn until you've seen all of the draft units. So we will always start with Lady of the House because none of the other units are ones that we drafted. Entombed Explosives, Train Stewards, and Dregs do not count as drafted units. And so now the question is, do we want to put Lady of the House up top? So Entombed Explosion will kill one of them. Rector Flicker... We can actually have Rector Flicker take some damage. Okay, Lady of the House goes on the bottom. We're going to Mind Collapse him, I think. And we can put Rector Flicker on the top because the Entombed Explosion will die. So we'll end up taking... Okay, if this is the damage, it's not. It's the energy morsel, which is fine. So do we want to take 6 damage to our Pyre? Or do we want to avoid a resolve trigger? Let's avoid damage on our Pyre. We need to minimize it as much as possible. And yes, it's only 6 damage, but see, this is what's perfect. So now we get back the Entombed Explosion, and we can put it on the second floor to do AoE and kill this first unit. We're fine on the top floor because we can place a Dreg. We can also put down the Rebel Morsel, making it even stronger. We can do Making a Morsel to get a Morsel Minor for our Rector Flicker. And anything else we want to do here? Giving 3 times damage and an extra burnout to Our Lady of the House seems pretty good. We don't need to do Descend, Dripfall. Yeah, we can do that. We have enough burnout units now that we will get permanent AoE on floors as long as they... Yeah, I mean, this guy's going to die after 1. We already have a Fatal Melting. That takes out almost entirely that floor there. And we can mold our Entombed Explosive, which will die... It won't die, but it will do a little bit of damage there. It might have been better to put him on the top floor. We can chump block with a Drag to get the backliner. We had more units that we can reform, so the question is, where do we do the Fatal Melting? Is this enough? This can chump block without dying. We can put the Morsel Minor... We want to upgrade the Lady of the House or our Rector Flicker. Probably the Lady of the House, because then we will put her back onto the top floor. We don't need any lifesteal right now. So the question is, where do we do a Fatal Melting? I think here. And then with the last Shade Splitter, we can put it at the bottom. Cool. Memento Mori kills off one high health minion. Chump blocking with this Drag is enough to kill this top unit. Actually, we didn't even need the Drag, but I think saving health on our champion makes sense. He dies, and I think Memento Mori just to take out the first unit there. She's going to die doing AoE damage. Let's get more Morsel miners. Let's put it on the Lady of the House. We don't need a fatal melting. Yeah. And we can save some damage on this drag. We need that reform soon. Entombed explosive because the boss is coming soon. Getting a burnout free drag seems good. Getting the rubble morsel. And we can dump a train steward and a drag on the second floor. Cool. So let's put the other entombed explosive behind it. That will do quite a lot of damage. We could drip fall the train steward just to do even more. I think that makes sense. Drip fall the train steward. We want to get another morsel miner here. And here. Mine collapse on the boss. We can toss another drag up here. Hopefully we get our reform. We did not. But if we get it on the top floor, which we molded is almost guaranteed. No, it is guaranteed. So we'll get molded. No, it's a one in. No, what is the chances? It's insanely low. I can't calculate it right now, but we have an incredibly high chance that we're going to get the molded on the next floor, which means we can get our Lady of the House back, and we will probably get a fatal melting as well. Now these morsels are going to do a lot of damage, so let's put them on this floor. And we don't want him to survive because we want these guys to... Yeah, this guy's going to attack until he burns out. Fatal melting makes a lot of sense. And at this point, we can put life steal. No, we're gonna end up chump blocking with something else. Let's get some extra stats onto our Rector Flicker. Good. So we got the Entombed Explosive. That's going to be quite strong. We got Memento Mori. That just kills the boss. So this is going really well. We still need to clear out a lot of units in our deck. Subsuming Blade, or a second, or would that be our third Fatal Melting? We're not going to take the Bounty Stalker because we already have our one unit. Subsuming Blade could be really good if we get it on holdover, and then we can just play it over and over again. The fact that it's piercing is pretty strong. Do we get spell? Yes, we're going to be taking spells, so I think that's fine. Ember Cache, I never say no to an Ember Cache, but Feast is also pretty good. No, you never say no to an Ember Cache. It's just too good. So I think we're on our way. On our way. Let's not jinx ourselves, but it's looking really good so far. We can get an array of trinkets. When a consume card is played, damage the front enemy unit. What consume cards? We will get the Ember Cache plus the next 3 are all consumes. Wax and Spike is a consume. So that would be basically 5 consume cards. Getting 3 extra health isn't valuable for us. Spells gain an extra slot, means that our Fatal Meltings could be, we could reduce their cost or give them holdover. Let's get the extra slot. I think this is valuable. 30 extra damage to the front enemy unit. Getting rid of our last train stewards. So now we don't have train stewards anymore, but we still need to get rid of dregs. Our 4 dregs and our 2 entombed explosives. We get another unstable vortex here, so that is 2 dregs. Another unstable vortex here, plus a copy card. That gets us down to no dregs and just the 2 entombed explosives. And then we finish off here, getting rid of the last 2 entombed explosives before the final boss. So we have the path set. We don't need to spend any coin to remove, and I think we need to keep what's in our deck. We might end up removing as well these shade splitters. They're not super valuable for us. We really just want morsel miners. Enemies get +6. That's fine. We want our units to die, especially our entombed explosives. As they get more and more burnout, they become more and more difficult to get rid of. So this drag will kill off the first enemies and do some damage onto the backliner. She'll take 12 damage, but then she negates the health that he gets back. And we can we'll put Rector Flicker. I think on this one we want him on the 2nd floor. Even the 1st floor, just to guarantee that we reform every turn. No, we put him on the 2nd floor, and then we do Mind Collapse. So, Dreg to face tank the damage and do AoE. What can we reform? We can reform this drag and put it behind. Put it behind here as well. Memento Mori is only doing 10 damage. It's not really worth it. So I think we get 1 drag to face tank the damage, do AoE, put a 2nd drag down here to do extra damage to the front units, put a drag here to tank that first hit. And then the question is the 10 damage up here worth it? More so than the Shade Splitter? I think so. Now it dies to an Entombed Explosion plus 1 other unit. Yes, we need to do that to start upgrading this. He will die. This is becoming a bit tricky. These high health units are going to be a real pain. I think we have to forego the Subsuming Blade. He's going to die anyway. So then we drag. We need Morsel Miner behind our Rector Flicker. We need a Chump Blocker in front of our drag. Getting him down to 25 means that he dies in 1 hit. We only take 16 damage. And let's see what our last Shade Splitter does. Health. Not great. We're really missing out on these Entombed Explosives. So that... $39 damage, doing 20 plus 19. That puts him in single hit kill range. Entombed Explosive here to get rid of the front unit. This is the problem, is that they get so much health. could chump block with that. Put the morsel miner behind here to upgrade our Rector Flicker. So he's gonna get up there with 100 damage. I feel like drip falling here might make the most sense. Because then in our next hand we get a Fatal Melting, which will do a lot more damage than right now. We get Wax and Spike, Ember Caches, so we get a lot of consume cards as well. Let's drip fall him down. And then we can even do more AoE. Does not negate the AoE. Getting 9 extra damage, does that make a difference? 39, 19, doesn't really make a big difference. Putting him here just means he dies. He'll have 10. We still need 2 triggers, even if we take the extra 5 damage. So we can put him up here. And then we can Ember Cache. Entombed Explosion. This is where it gets dice. Oh wait, no, we can clear out like this. And then Entombed Explosion. Put 60 onto the front unit. These guys are both gonna die. We can get a Morsel Maker, Morsel Miner here. We can chump block with this Morsel. Or we can have it do 10 extra damage. We might want to have it do 10 extra damage. Yeah, that kills the front unit. This guy's going to be pretty big, but I think we'll be okay. And then the question is, do we do something like this to keep these guys alive and have them do extra damage? I think we can then chump block for them after. That would probably make sense. And end. Lady of the House. Where do we want her? Yeah, he dies like right away. With Ember Drain, she can do a lot of damage to him. 30 times 3 at least. So 90 damage to him. How much damage do we have to do to this guy for him to be killed? They're doing right now, so we need one chump blocker. The Rubble Morsel is good enough. So they're doing 30, 50. That drops him down. Two of these is not quite enough. Molded. Definitely think we want the Entombed Explosion. Like that. We could even drip fall him. No, we can't. We could drip fall our champion. So then we get Lady of the House. She has 2 damage shield, so she'll block the first hits. I think we put her in front. No, it's got burnout 2, so it's going to die anyway. But actually, that would make a lot of sense because we can take full advantage of the lifesteal It's going to die anyway, but then it will have done 20 extra damage to the boss. And she has Burnout 4 anyway, so she would die after 4 hits, which is exactly how many she's going to do. So that adds 20 plus 90 damage. If we do that, like this. $35 puts him at 35 puts him at, yeah, I think we have to take the 1 hit just in order to do an extra 55 damage to the boss. And then, do we drip fall the champion down? He would do 35 extra times. I mean, he's gonna, unless we get, we're not gonna get reform. Memento Mori will do 170. The problem is we can't bring units back. We get 2 reformed units if we let him stay. And the question is, are those 2 reformed units worth more than the extra 35 times, let's say, 105 damage? I think we risk it. Okay, so we can consume there. We get a Fatal Melting. 70 damage. We will get Memento Mori next turn, so that's an extra 200 plus damage. We can tank with our Rubble Morsel and a Dreg. Something like that adds an extra 40 damage. We can also do an extra 35 damage. If we put this Dreg behind, it survives. If we put this Dreg in front, this will do an extra 20 damage, which I think is more valuable. That puts him down to 295. If we use this, that puts him down to, and then Memento Mori. Neither of these are going to make a difference, and that's all that we're drawing left. Are we going to die? That's the question. He does 25 damage. We'll get at least 2 shots off 60. Is a Shade Splitter going to make a difference? Is it going to make a difference? Is it going to make a difference? I don't think so. Uncommon would be Damage Shield, and even Damage Shield doesn't help. If we got specifically the Lifesteal, then it would be worth it. He's getting eaten. So he takes 1 damage, he gets eaten. If we got Lifesteal, we would then be able to survive extra hits. And I think we need to go for that. Lifesteal, Damage Shield, Energy. Not what we wanted. I don't think that's going to make a difference at all. It doesn't. Alright, Mind Collapse. We can put 2 Rubble Morsels up here just for fun. Memento Mori does 240. We are going to survive. Just barely. Barely, barely, barely are we going to survive, but we are going to survive. Wow. We're going to take 25 damage. And that was way too close. Crushing Demise. Crushing Demise. Yes, this is what we need. More Ember Cash is perfect. It's basically 30 damage for 0 plus a future 30 damage. Hello, Mole66. Welcome to the stream. So, for the rest who are watching, do you think we will succeed? We're at 43 health. We've got 3 bosses left. We're trimming out more dregs. Remember, the goal is we only want to have one single other unit. The unit that we picked is our Lady of the House. The rest we can have spells, but we're just trying to do basically a morsel reform. So we want a lot of reformed morsels who will get stronger. That by the end we can just pack a ton of reformed burnout morsels to do damage. We're surviving by the skin of our teeth just on Fatal Meltings, Entombed Explosives, and the Memento Moris. Hopefully summon a Morsel Miner on each floor at the start of battle sounds fantastic. This means that we guarantee, even if we put our champion on the top floor, we will be able to reform a Morsel Miner. The alternative is that we start with 4 random units, but this isn't going to make much sense because we actually want to not have any units. So we will take the Commemorative Spike, and we need what would we put Permafrost on? Maybe on the Waxen Spike. Crushing Demise. I think on the Waxen Spike. We want to reduce on Memento Mori and Subsuming Blade. The other is 20 damage and Consume. Don't think we really want Consume. Let's start with a Memento Mori that becomes more valuable faster. And let's then... I don't think we want this on one of our Fatal Meltings. Let's reroll. Remove Consume, so we can add Consume and then remove Consume. Oh wait, we actually, this is already removed Consume. So if you add it again, it just adds the extra damage. That's makes a lot of sense. And we can make our Memento Mori less cost, make it a 1 cost, make this a 0 cost, make this a 0 cost. Subsuming Blade. Remove and add. This could be quite good to remove the Consume. I think we just do the minus cost on spells, and I'm thinking Memento Mori, that it's much easier to play. But having a 0 cost Crushing Demise is fine, but I think this is the play. And then let's purge out... We'll take out the 2 Entombed Explosives and Dregs in the next removal floors. So I think getting rid of a Shade Splitter would benefit us. And then we'll keep the rest of our gold for now. Scourge is not great. But I think now, without all the dregs, our deck should be a little bit more consistent. Yeah, this is what's not great. Hold on just a second. Sorry, I just got a notification. I need to address something super quickly. Okay. Cool. So now, what do we want to do? Lady of the House on the bottom floor. Ultimate Penance. Fatal Melting to clear out these bottom units. And what is Seraph doing? Yeah, he's just creating those. Really annoying. Lights. Rector Flicker on this floor. And this guy will just sit here until we can absorb him. Subsuming Blade. We can make that stronger already. Seems good. Entombed Explosion. We really want this to have Burnout. What do we want to do? We want to kill this? Or kill this one? I think we don't want this guy to get up there. So let's do the cache down there and Memento Mori it, and we'll keep the Shade Splitter for now. Or let me say, we won't play the Shade Splitter for now. Okay, Ultimate Penance. We don't have anything to reform right now. We definitely need to get rid of that. We can't tank any more hits. Good, so this is going to do a lot of damage to the front. We can then put another drag behind to do an extra... We need him actually the far back to do an extra 9 damage. And that means we... Not now. Well, if I put him on the bottom floor... When the Lady of the House dies, he will be able to reform her. But I think instead we do another Morsel Miner here, just to buff him up. And that takes care of almost that entire floor. That takes care of that statue. And Crushing Demise. Gets rid of 2 units. We can put the Morsel Maker. Can we tank with it? We can't. It will die. What we can do is put another Morsel Maker up here. Oh, actually, we have plenty of units to reform now. So we put this here. Put this behind it as well. Actually, we can kill him with Mind Collapse, but I think it might make more sense to use Mind Collapse on this unit just to get it lower. I guess it depends on if we think we can take this guy. I think let's save some health on our Rector Flicker. So we do it like that. We can apply Burnout to kill this top one as well, and do extra damage after it dies. May seem strange, but actually getting rid of the statues is valuable for us. And yeah, okay, so now we got Morsel Miner. We can chump block with an Entombed Explosive. Gotta get rid of that. Fatal Melting makes a lot of sense, and we get our second Ember Cache. Fatal Melting here, put some damage on Fell. I think we do it like this, and we Fatal Melting the bottom floor he will do some damage to the to Fel. And because he gets burnout, we do an extra 5 damage, and then let's toss in 2 dregs. These, like, I think we do it like this, and then he takes more damage. So now these morsel miners are going to start getting actually very strong. So let's get... We can kill... Actually, let's first mold back our Lady of the House. Put her on the bottom floor again. I think we can let him die. Entombed Explosion. Chunk blocks that and kills him. And then we want... Yeah, that works. We can even take this out. Getting 120 damage on the boss seems good. Do we want to increase... I think we want to increase the stats of our Lady of the House. And also get some damage on this floor. We could take this out already, and then this is guaranteed to die. Which I think is pretty good. It also saves some damage on our Rector Flicker. So let's do it like that. We can take care of him. We can even... Let's see, 5, 10, 45. Okay, he's dying from the Rector Flicker. I don't think he's dying straight up from the Entombed Explosive. Or is he? 5, 10, 35, 45. No, he's not. I thought about putting Fel down, but I don't think it's going to make a difference. Let's... Well, actually it will. He'll take 5 damage, or 40 damage. Is my math wrong here? 35 plus 5 plus... Why is he taking 45 damage? Oh! They're now killing the Clipped Guardian together, and then on death he's doing 35 damage to Fel, so that was good. Alright. The timing of all the triggers is complicated for me. Alright, let's get rid of the Ultimate Penance. We have Entombed Explosive, seems good. It's not dying, unfortunately. We can upgrade our Subsuming Blade, which makes a lot of sense. And we can take out... Question is, do we need to worry about this guy? We can just put a dragon in front, and that will kill him without taking damage to our Rector Flicker. And then we can use our Consumes down here. We can even use a Fatal Melting. And then we can make 2 more Morsels. What do we want to buff with them, though, is the question. I think we want to put them down here. Entombed Explosion is going to be stronger than our Drag. So if we had a choice, we would take this guy back. And there we go, another 50 damage to Fel. And now we're on to him. So, killing Demise doesn't really make a lot of sense. Unless we want to just randomly increase our Fatal Melting. I think getting a lot of these Consume triggers on him does make a lot of sense. Let's put another Entombed Explosive. This one has 1 burnout, so we'll let it tank the first hit. This Morsel Miner will buff the Lady of the House, or yeah, Lady of the House. We don't have any cards in deck right now. We will for sure before the end be able to reform our Lady of the House. Question is, do we want... I think we do want this to increase on the Lady of the House. We use Fatal Melting. Getting damage shield on this guy's not really that great. I think we will just put the... Oh, and the problem is now we're muddying our deck. Let's get these guys up here with the assumption that we will put a unit up there later on to take advantage of the damage shield. Probably the Lady of the House. Cool. Subsuming Blade isn't going to do a lot of damage. 1, 2, so we're getting Morsel Miners back here. Just increases the amount of damage he takes by a lot, actually. doing a fatal melting will also do damage. So really what we need is Memento Mori and Molded. Either one of those, I don't know that it will, I don't think it guarantees us the win, but it will definitely go a long way. So let's kill, or do some more damage to the boss. Again, getting kind of dicey. We're really relying on card draw RNG. We did not get either of them. So I think we're gonna die here. Let's put in Morsel Maker. Yeah, we ended up losing. Mistakes. I think we should have taken out another Shade Splitter. With the Memento Mori, we would have survived 60 damage plus 250, 310. Yep, we would have survived if we had been able to get Memento Mori, and we would have not taken any damage if we'd gotten the Molded. So unfortunate, but that's how it goes. Let me just check my timing. Do I have time for a third attempt? If we do it quickly, at least I can start it. I'll start it. I apologize if I have to end a little early, but yeah, maybe we succeed. This is a tough one. Let's do it one last time. I will play a little bit faster. Trying to think what we need in order to make this more consistent. We really need a lot of reform. That will help. And we get making a morsel, so we get the diamond morsels. Applying burnout to a friendly unit would honestly only be useful just to get burnout on a unit. Sacred Wicks is going to be good to reform. Better would be to get molded. Let's see what artifact we get. Second unit gives us energy, or merchant costs minus 25%. I think getting the energy is good. It means that we can take some higher energy cost cards. We did not get reform. We'll take the burnout for now, and we hope that we get reform as a second upgrade on our champion. Nautilus enemy enter with spikes. That's fine. Our champion can tank all of the first waves by himself. And we can upgrade his burnout so that he survives up until the boss. Maybe that's the right way to do it, though, is to get the big champion, keep him alive, and use him to tank, and then reform. Get extra energy and damage shield. Would have liked the damage shield down there, but I think I'm trying to think compared to the last. How do I think we're gonna do? So 65, he'll take out the boss by himself. We can use this now. Cool. Morsel Miner, maybe put a dreg there. Put a train steward behind, and yeah. Easy first battle. So our champion should carry us up through Daedalus. Okay, that's what we need. We need a controlled molding. And do we want any of these? Cannibalize. Cannibalize is quite good because it guarantees us a unit to reform. I don't think we'll take the unit. We're going to go for spells again. Remember, the goal is to remove... Okay, yeah. Getting guaranteed molded every turn. And let's already start purging train stewards. So, yeah, for those that are joining, the way that we're trying to make this build work is we only use morsels. We're allowed one extra draft unit. Hopefully we get something better than Lady of the House. And then the goal is to keep reforming, especially morsel miners, with the idea that they can get stronger and stronger and stronger if we're reforming them every turn. That's the theory. We've had 2 runs. First run we died on Daedalus, second run we died on Fell, that's what we just finished. Now third run, enemies start on each floor. If we put Rector Flicker on the top floor, we should be fine because we're going to be putting the Purifying Cleanses on him. That gives him 7 burnout, and then if he dies we can always reform him, so I think that's okay. He can tank a lot of hits early. And then we just need a way to clear out the remaining minions afterward. So Rector Flicker, drag, morsel miner. And I don't think we use this Shade Splitter. We don't want to muddy our pool too much. That will also clear out almost entirely this floor. Let's add the Purifying Cleanse. There's only one available, so we'll save this for later, and we want this Morsel Miner. He will take out the last enemy unit. Really wish I could get the Collector, but it's not in the cards, so instead we will play our Train Steward out. We can reform that Morsel Miner once again, which allows us to kill the backline unit. 3 damage, so we can tank with a drag. We can get another Shade Splitter to give us energy and get rid of the Sinner's Burdens. This might be a little bit of an issue. We have to see if we can get enough. 15 damage is not quite enough yet, but if we Shade Splitter and then cannibalize it, maybe we get another we get another damage minion, which allows us to kill the second unit. So we will take 1 damage, which I think is totally fine. Let's get 1 damage shield on our Rector Flicker and get another morsel and damage shield onto our Train Steward. Now Rector Flicker is going to die, but then we will reform him. And we can put big Morsel Miner behind our Train Steward. Does he even survive? He survives for 1 hit. We put him down, we get an extra 35 damage. Or 45 damage. Cool. So with our massive Rector Flicker, we should have no issues doing this. Good. So we've only taken 1 damage to our Pyre so far. This is by far the most promising run we've had. Getting a second molded. Yeah, or Hallow Drip. No, let's do a second molded. And do we want Rage? Lifesteal? I don't think any of this. I think we skip. So maybe that was the missing link. Promethean, yeah, you're right. Oh, you're totally right. I wasn't thinking about taking out my own morsels. Yeah. I wasn't thinking. I get so used to having so many spells that are only on enemy units, like Mine Chat or Mine. What is it? I can't remember the card name. Mine Crash? Am I wrong? What is it? Yeah, Mind Collapse. So like stuff like this is what I'm used to playing, where you can only use it on the enemy units. So I wasn't thinking about the fact that I can scale it on my own morsels. Do we want to duplicate already? I think duplicating already the holdover molded makes sense. Perils of Production, get a holdover. Yeah, you're right. I mean, the best would be if I get what is it called? It's the 2-cost multi-strike furnace tap. So yeah, that's right. And if we get the morsels that give you energy, now that we have cannibalize kills it though. You don't consume it. So I would need feast. But if I can get a mind collapse, then I'm happy to take more ember drain. The biggest issue I'm going to have, let's see, the moldeds are going to be free, and I think we definitely want to duplicate the molded even over getting the artifact. So we can always reform every turn 2 units. The problem is getting rid of our 1 cost. I mean, okay, let me think. If we clear out both train stewards, we clear out all 4 dregs, I would probably also get rid of the shade splitters. Then the idea is we need to get making a morsel to be 0 cost. And then we can just take all the Ember Drain cards to stack onto our Rector Flicker and our morsel miners. Maybe also get cannibalized to 0. Maybe it makes sense to keep 1 shade splitter so we have a target for cannibalize. We don't really want to cannibalize our morsel miners. Major refraction. We don't really have a unit we want to use it on. Do we keep a dreg? I mean, we could. That could be our extra unit. We just keep a dreg. There's so many other better draft units to take as a pair to our Rector Flicker than a dreg. The only advantage is that he'll burn out fast and we can reform him. Yeah, we definitely don't need the miner. Well, at least even if we end up getting rid of him later to make room for a better unit, I think it's worth stacking him early on so that we can survive up until Seraph. Because we can keep him all the way to Seraph and then cut him if we don't find... We keep him if we don't find a better draft unit. Otherwise, we cut him all the way at Seraph. Okay, so... I think I'm fine just face tanking these guys early on. Getting the morsel miners out. And then... I mean, we want the train steward out of the deck. Let's not just throw him recklessly. And let's get the drag. Oh yeah! Now we can play the second morsel miner. Good. We got our first molded, so let's bring back our morsel miner. And the question is, do we have it face tank to save our train steward? Do we even care about our train stewards? We're really... The goal is that we can just kill him on this first floor. I think, and it's better to continue to stack up our champion, and the morsel miner will take out these kind of incidental units on the side. I don't think we cannibalize him. We do need to take out that unit, and we might as well just... Oh, this is our big drag. Let's put big drag on the second floor. He's our backup in case our champion doesn't make it for us. Alright, molded, get back 1 morsel miner. Molded, get back the second morsel miner. And this is the other interaction which is quite important, is the morsel miners, the eat trigger happens before the burnout. So he'll take their stacks, even though he'll die from burnout at the end, he still keeps their stacks, which is really important for us, that we can take advantage of every single turn. And then I think we want... this is a problem. If we put a drag down here, the drag will absorb the morsel miners, and we really want them on our Rector Flicker. So instead I'm going to put the drags on the top floor, and add another shade splitter onto the bottom floor. And he should have no issues. We get 2 reforms, so we can reform both our champion and our super drag. So I think we'll be in good shape for Daedalus, Because by the time he comes around, our Rector Flicker will have so much burnout, he's very unlikely to die. We take back Super Drag. Super Drag can even face tank this explosive. And do we want him to die? How many turns until Daedalus? It honestly doesn't matter, because if he dies, we just reform him on the second floor, reform him on the third floor. What's really important is that we don't have any units up here by the end. So we can keep the Train Steward, but we cannot play other units that won't burn out, or we will not be able to replay our Rector Flicker on the top floor. So we got to make sure we keep the top floor open towards the end. That's just fine. That also means he'll heal up. So Mold, get back our Super Morsel Miner. Do we want more lifesteal on him now? I don't think so. I think he'll have enough health that we don't need to lifesteal, and just getting the extra stats on him seems to be best. Do we want extra burnout on our drag? Sure. Final wave. That's a really bad timing. But let's get the Morsel Miners out. We don't have... Oh, this is a problem. We don't have room on the second floor to bring the Rector Flicker. And we need to put one of the Morsel Miners. Do we have something that can kill that front unit? Oh, it's got 4 burnout. What am I saying? It's showing the burnout trigger because it's going to die before... yeah, he's going to die before he gets killed by Daedalus. But I think that should be enough. That gets him down to 380. This guy might even be able to take him out even with only 2 burnout. Yeah, he'll die to the drag. So we can just play out the rest and finish the battle. And he'll die. Yep. So we're good. So definitely, I don't know what you guys are thinking. I think this is a much better candidate for the full run. Wretch. I think the trample, right? Getting trample on our champion. That's got to be better than the Wretch. And we don't want endless because then we can't reform. That's what I'm thinking. I agree with you, Promethean. I think we take the trample. Because we get plenty of Morsel Miners through our reforms, right? So we get 2 every turn. I am not too concerned. None of these look like endgamers for us. The thought could be, do we take the Paraffin Thug temporarily? If we get, let's say, 5 kills with him, he pays for himself if we remove him later on. Ooh, Wickless Baron. Yeah, Harvest. But do we want... Do we have enough space for him? Because if we're going to want to put the Morsel Miners on the same floor as our champion, and if we have the Wickless Baron plus the champion, we can only put 2 Morsel Miners per turn. But I do agree, Harvest is really strong. And if we buff him up a lot, I'm trying to think how many, if let's say a battle goes for 10 rounds. Oh yeah, because you get the harvest triggers on both sides. Yeah, I can see that. We'll take him for now. If it doesn't work out, we can always get rid of him later. And we have to take capacity. If we're gonna stack both the champion and the Baron. Yeah, I mean we have cannibalize. So we could, if we keep one of our Shade Splitters, we can combine it with the Cannibalize. to get plenty of morsels to combine with him. I can see that working. I mean, I'd love to do the Merchant of Magic, but actually the two most important things are already in place. We have 2 Moldeds with Reform, so I don't think we need to upgrade more spells at this point. Better would be that we can upgrade, hopefully... You know what would be really great is if we could get Multi-Strike on the Wickless Baron. Let's see if we... Quick? I don't think Quick is that great on him. I would much rather he have Multi-Strike. Do we re-roll for it? I don't know. Let's at least get rid of 2 more Train Stewards. We don't need the Pyre Health, but we'll take it. Quick, 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 quick. Though, if we get Trample, then the Quick doesn't really benefit us, because so here's my thinking. The only reason I would get Quick is if we wanted to be able to take a low health unit that is blocking a big health unit. That's the only time when Quick is going to be valuable for us, because we're for sure going to have our champion in the front. But with Trample, I think we don't care. We don't need the Quick if we have Trample. And we don't need to block damage. Our unit has so... Yeah, I agree with that. Let's re-roll and hope we get the Multi-Strike. Endless. Now this is interesting. We could put Burnout on him and then reform him every turn. Because he keeps all of his harvest triggers. Right? So he'll just keep stacking up the harvests. He doesn't harvest off of himself, but he should... I think the harvest trigger will occur before the eating. Does anyone know that for sure? Does the harvest trigger happen... Okay, let me see. So there's several triggers in a row here. Burnout. If he burns out, does he still take the harvest trigger? But will he? The question is, will he die before the morsels are eaten? I don't think so, because as I mentioned before, if you have morsels on the same floor where your champion is, he will eat them and then burn out. So I think the eat trigger happens before burnout, which we'll do it for science, but that would be insane, because then we can keep bringing him back and stacking burnout on top of him. And so he gets all of the reform buffs plus the harvest buffs. I think that's... I mean, I'd love to get Multi-Strike on him, but I really like the idea of him just having an insane amount of damage. And if he ends up being... I mean, yeah, I'm gonna purge, but it's gotta be, right? You gotta take the harvest triggers on him. With the morsels, he is going to have an insane amount of health. And when we get to second upgrade, definitely we'll do the harvest again. Let's get rid of a dreg. Not that dreg. Alright. I think we're good. Spell shield, bring it on. Alright, so Rector Flicker, Wickless Baron. We might want to keep him around a little bit longer. I don't know how likely it is that we get them molded right away. Shade Splitter. Get some damage. Yeah, see, he's getting the harvest triggers, so the Wickless Baron should also get harvest triggers before he dies. But I don't know though, like, right? Like, he's getting the trigger, but he doesn't seem to be getting the trigger. I'm not 100% sure if that's going to work out. I think we're fine to increase on our champion. Let's see. He does. He got the harvest trigger. He gets the harvest triggers before he dies. Great. And we can already mold him back. So he's already 27-31 after the first turn. I think we're going to be fine. Then the question is, we can bring back this morsel. This dreg will die. We will get super drag next turn. And if we tank this one, yeah, let's do it like this. So we put in Magma Morsel. We play Wickless Baron. I don't think we play Cannibalize because I want to put the dreg up front. This dreg dying guarantees that on the reform we can at least bring back this dreg to kill the light harnesser, and I don't think we need the cash right now. I mean, I'd like to take it, but unless we separate these two, and I would rather scale him up than get the 75. All right. We can also increase on our champion again. So we mold, we bring back this dreg so that he can kill off this unit here. We don't need to stress about this priest. These should both be the Magma Morsel, and we can do Morsel Minor. We could even throw some Shade Splitters. Oh, he's dying. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, if we got Trample or something like that early, maybe we would have been able to kill off this guy. But I'm not too stressed about it. We really only want to use cash to get artifacts and eliminate units. So yeah, I'm not sweating that at all. So now our Wickless Baron's already 40-60 after turn 2. We will use the Magma Morsel behind our drag just to make sure this guy dies. Throw another drag up front there and get another Morsel Minor. So now the question is, who will scale faster? I think it's still our champion over the Wickless Baron. We mold, and now we just want Morsel Miners. More Morsel Miners. I'm not even going to bring back Super Drag because I don't want him taking up space. Now he's going to die. We could potentially win just by increasing... Nope, but we get pretty close. And I don't... Actually, let's play a Morsel Miner here so that he's already ready on the next turn, because we're going to be reforming the Baron and the champion. Yeah, he is a monster. And this is the 4th floor. He's only going to get better. So that's interesting. The burnout that comes from Purifying Cleanse does not get maintained. It's a temporary burnout increase. Memento Mori. Yeah, you take a Memento Mori. And Furnace Tap. You take a Furnace Tap. Okay. Yeah, we're good. We can do Furnace Tap and Trample onto our champion. He scales to an insane degree, and we can play him on every floor. Yeah, I think this run is locked in. What do we want to duplicate? I don't think we need more Reform triggers. Once we play one Furnace Tap, we're going to be tapped out of mana for a while. Is there anything... What's the best? Triple Molded? Yeah, that's so strange to me. I feel like... Oh, I mean, I'm sure it's intended, but it's not logical for my... Like, I would assume if you add Burnout, it's like an enhancement, but I guess it's considered a debuff. Maybe that's why. But it is interesting that on the Reform, it's an enhancement. Does it say that? It does. Enhance with Burnout 1. There's the difference. So because it has the word enhance, it's maintained, where this is apply. So it's a minor difference, but it is logically consistent. I'm almost thinking... Is Wicklash also... I think Wicklash also says enhance, though. We can check it. Let me take a quick look. If not, then we can storm Reddit and riot. Wicklash. Yeah, Wicklash also says, oh, it doesn't. It says apply. So you can go do the science, and if it turns out that it is maintained across, then we need to send them an angry letter or make an angry post on Reddit. My consistency, right? All right. I think. I mean, you can't go wrong with a third molded, right? I would think about Furnace Tap. My only issue with Furnace Tap is once we get the Ember Drain, can we play it again? If we reduce the cost. Yeah, I think that's right. And we need to get through our deck. We take out 2 more dregs. So having the double Furnace Tap and then reducing the cost to 0, then we can guarantee we can play it every time. We haven't really had any issues. I'll take the coins now. I think in the next level, being able to upgrade our spells even more. Right? Or we don't really have units to upgrade, but we could use it to clear out some more, maybe like Shade Splitters. You know, actually we're okay with him, and we don't care about the armor. We should be fine with the stealth because our guy's gonna have so much health on him anyway. Do we just play it? I mean, I think we just play it, right? Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, we have our Hell's Banners. So as long as we can play, okay, I mean, this is an example of when it doesn't work, but as long as we can play 2 units, we get 2 energy anyway, right? We get 2 Ember, and you always start at 0. You can't go negative. Right, we're bringing back our Wickless Baron. Yeah, we don't need the extra money. See, like right here, we can already play the second one. We bring back 2 Morsels. We could have even played a Dreg, but we bring back these 2 Morsels, and now we can play the second Furnace Tap. Easy money, right? Nothing to reform, and we'll play Super Drag on floor 2. Bring back our Rector Flicker. Bring back our Wickless Baron. We can Purify and Cleanse him just to get it. It actually doesn't consume, but get it anyway, and then add more Morsels. And we've already negated the burn. Yeah, because he dies, right? He burns out. So even if we apply Burnout to him, he dies, and then even if we apply Ember Drain to him, he dies. The Ember Drain's gone. So there's almost no negative consequences for us. We can do that. I think we bring back... Yeah, we'll bring back extra damage. Use Shade Splitter. I think we cannibalize this guy. We got him back anyway, and we can just buff up our... Oh, I should have put the one that does extra damage. But, I mean, it doesn't matter. He's going to die to our Pyre anyway. Do they do any damage to him? No, but I can do Memento Mori. And... Sure, let's just keep stacking. Use Morsels. How long does this Dreg have before he dies? The Diamond Morsel out. And another Shade Splitter here. I think he will die this turn. We have insane amount of damage, purifying cleanse, he's gone. Cool. So this is going much, much better than the last 2 runs. I don't think we need any of this. We don't need the energy. There's a fringe case where we could use this, but I don't think that fringe case is worth ruining the rest of our draws. Mortal Entrapment, I don't think we need it. And we don't use Morsels as a Crushing Demise. I think we can do enough damage on the first floor with our Rector Flicker. That's actually a good point. If we could freeze it, then we can guarantee in that fringe case where we have a lot of Ember Drain, we can still play some of our cards. I don't think we need this. Grovel's pretty good. Get damage shield onto our champion. I think we'll go this route. We do need some Pyre health. Double stack? What do you think? What do you think? Do we care about 8 Ember Drain? I don't think we do. Yeah. I think we're totally fine there. And what else? Getting our last molded free. We don't need any of this. I think let's get the... It's 2 cost right now, right? Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Hold over on... So this is the other thought, is we could grovel every turn. Is there anything else we want to hold over? Maybe Memento Mori, but I don't think we need... I could even get rid of Memento Mori. I think 1 cost grovel, because by the end... No, you're right, but I'm thinking if we can guarantee damage shield onto our champion, maybe it's not worth it. Getting it free, I think, yeah, having a free grovel makes more sense. And we don't really need the magic power. Let's trim. We can get rid of Shade Splitter. We'll keep our last big drag. He's our insurance. Let's get rid of 1 Shade Splitter. No, that's right. Yeah, we can... Do we just get rid of the Memento Mori? I feel like it's just a dead card in our hand right now. We do so much damage with units, we don't need the spell. Alternatively, no, we don't have any more units to get rid of. I mean, it would be a way to just get rid of our big drag. But I think... Or getting rid of one of our Purifying Cleanses. Right? I don't think we need the Purifying Cleanse. This is where we died last time. I can't imagine that we have too many problems here, especially when you draw your double stacked Furnace Tap on turn 1 with the Umbra Stone, so that you can take advantage of the extra 2 mana that you get. Like, really? Are the developers watching? Are you guys watching? Want to make sure we don't die to Fel? Wow, that's insane. We get 2 units back, so we can already play out our second Furnace Tap. Yeah. We can even do Memories of the Mead to play out our Memento Mori. That we don't need it, we can just use it. Okay, Okay. Let's see how the game wants to be played. Good. We can bring back the Wickless Baron. Bring back the Jeweler. Play Grovel. Definitely would prefer damage and lifesteal. And we can just buff up our Dreg. Four times multi-strike. Trample. Yeah. Alright, let's bring back Super Drag. Purifying Cleanse to get it out of our deck permanently. Bring back the Jeweler. And bring back our Lifesteal. We can increase his burnout some more, give him an extra damage shield. I do need to be careful though, I don't want his burnout to get too high, but he might honestly kill the Fel. If Fel comes down here too many more times, he'll just die to my units, or to my champion. Let's keep adding back in the multi-strike. We can buff up the Super Drag. Molded. Bring back our Wickless Baron. And even... Oh, you're right. Fel is a lady. My bad. My bad. Apologies to any female angel viewers out there. I did not mean to misgender Fel. So I apologize. And will... I probably should have done Cannibalize. A little bit of a waste. So I apologize. And yeah, even if our champion dies from the burnout now, we're fine. Yeah, and Fel's dead. Let's just finish it. We don't need Kindle. We don't need Endless. We don't need Formless Child. Draw, right? We are Ember draining anyway. We don't need more... well, having a third, being able to get a third, even over the third unit? You still think we draw? Yeah, that's right. We do get Grovel more often. Okay. And what do we have in units left? We just have the drag, and we can get rid of the drag on the final floor. So we'll go this route. We get, when you summon your first mortal, draw a card. Yep, okay, so that's just one permanent extra draw when a friendly unit dies. Sorry. Okay, we don't need either of these. I can't, I mean, was there any better? I guess the only thing better I could assume getting on first turn would be the artifact that gives you morsel miners on each floor. And I will deserve it. I will deserve it. We're going Harvest. Alright. Non-boss enemies heal. Okay, this is interesting. There's a risk here if we take. Do we even need? We don't need the coins. This is stupid. We're not gonna blow it on taking a stupid trial and not drawing. Yeah, like, if we had taken this, I mean, okay, he would have died, but still. No reason to take risks here. This is about the worst possible hand we can draw on turn 1. Other than that we get our moldeds to use later. But I can't imagine a worse turn 1 draw there. Super Drag will kill this guy, and Memento Mori should kill him. Wait, you can't... Am I stupid? You can cannibalize... I'm stupid. You're right. I'm so programmed to think that you can only cannibalize morsels. But you're exactly right. We can do grovel. Put down these two. We don't have anything. We want to use molded just to get out of the hand. And I wish we can put it up here to be consumed later by our super drag. And honestly, I feel like just getting this out of the deck. It's one of our worst reforms because we don't get to decide. We did not get super drag, so we will take some damage. 1, yeah, we'll take 4 damage. I'm not too concerned about that. Although, no, we won't. I mean, I know it's not. It's kind of wasteful, but why not, right? Purifying Cleanse, Furnace Tap. We don't have anything else to mold, so we can use the Shade Splitter. And it's not our holdover mold, or molded. Let's bring back Morsel Miner. Let's bring back Wickless Baron. He does not yet have Trample. We can use the memories to play Memento Mori. And we have our Super Drag. There's our Trample. We put Super Drag out and final Morsel. Diamond, and I think just on the off chance that we're able to get... Oh wait, we can guarantee I'm making a morsel. Stack these guys here because we want morsel miner. And let's keep stacking one of these. And I'm not going to play as Shade Splitter. I don't want to muddy up the deck anymore because I can only play it on the top floor anyway. Bring back the champion. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. He doesn't keep his multi-strikes. I disagree. Vehemently. I don't know how I didn't notice that last time. So that means we need to save our multi-strikes until the end on the final boss. We'll bring back Super Drag. We should, I mean, we're gonna be fine. I think we'll be fine. Oh, he's dying from the burnout. Get a big old morsel miner out behind him. Extra 60 damage. We can put 2 more morsel miners behind the drag. And we can even Shade Splitter. Get rid of this one. And get some more damage on him. We'll put these on the top floor. I don't want them in my deck. Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, it's an enhance, so I think it should stay. But it's fine, we just play around it, right? So we now know that we need to save it until the end. Can't play him there. He's dead. Fatal Melting. I don't think we need AoE. I mean, it does do a lot of damage because we get a lot of deaths. It's one card. I think it's worth. And I don't think we need any of these. I'm just thinking of some of those turns early on, especially now that we're going to keep our Furnace Tap until later. And we could duplicate the Furnace Tap again. I feel like that's getting excessive. I mean, right? Right? Okay. Yeah. Greed. No, you're right. You're right. I took the greed, and we need to get rid of our drag because the challenge was that we only want to have a single second unit. You're right. I'm just greedy. I wanted the extra Furnace Tap. We cannot enhance anything. Yeah, that was the other thing too, being able to get rid of. And if we can't play anything onto. I don't think we left. Did we leave an open spot on our Wickless Baron? We didn't. So I think then we can use that to purge anything else. Or I guess we could have used here. Oh, spells. Oh, spells. Dang, I thought it said units for a second. Lifesteal. Do we take the extra pyre for insurance, or do we re-roll and try to get something better? I feel like re-rolling. Start with a Morsel Miner. I mean, start with a Morsel Miner, right? Over any of this. We don't need jack strips. I think that's it. I think we got. I'm not gonna say we have the perfect run for the challenge, but it's hard to see how it could be significantly improved, right? Did you know that interaction? I did not know that interaction. The commemorative spike triggers the Hell's Banners. I did not know that's how that interacted. Interesting. Vector Flicker, Wickless Baron, and I think it's worth... So, hear me out. This is the worst of the multi-strikes, but I think we need it just to take care of these early units, and then we can save the other two for later on after he dies. And we can cannibalize this Morsel Miner to... What? 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 Where's my Morsel Miner? What? I disagree. I vehemently disagree. Where's my Morsel Miner? Not okay. Devs. Devs. Nothing to be said there. Just clearly bad programming. Oh crap. Did I just burn the reform? Yeah, I wasn't paying attention. Reddit post incoming? Okay, so we gotta make sure we're playing. Yeah, Sacred Wicks already expires. We get two. Actually, we need these guys to take out enemies up top. This guy has more health. We can play Grovel now for free. We molded nothing. Get rid of self-mutilations. We put these guys on the bottom. So we will be able to at least reform the Rector Flicker, and we have the... Which one did I get rid of? I got the reform one. Ah, that's really bad. We have one more molded, but... And we just get this guy to take the damage. Why aren't they dying? Oh! Wait, why aren't they dying? Why aren't both of them dying? Am I missing something? 15's bigger than 7, 18's bigger than 3. Oh, they attacked first. Oh, the guy had 12 damage. I needed to put it... that's okay. We take a little bit of damage. Okay, so we gotta make sure that we don't play the molded first. So... Now I'm tempted... I think we get rid of a Shade Splitter here. I'm tempted to dump our champion on the top floor. We can take 13 damage in order to do an insane amount to Seraph now. Not an insane amount, we do some damage to Seraph now. I think that's probably worth. Plus we can't even kill these guys. Oh, we lose the trample as well. Oh, that's fantastic. Morsel Miner. We're going to take a lot of fire damage, but I think we can still win it out as long as we keep reforming our champion on every floor. The idea is that he should die. Okay, we need to use one of the other 2 remaining furnace taps just to make sure we kill the enemy units. Self-mutilation. We need to bring back Wickless Baron. Order is very important. Wickless Baron, making a morsel so we get our energy trigger, and then we play out one of the furnace taps. We are going to take 36 damage, which is not great. And we play Purifying Cleanse, Grovel to get 2 units. Thank you for giving me more self-mutilations. Really appreciate that. We don't kill all of them. I think we can take 3 damage more. It's getting really dicey though. I'm missing Big Drag. He was very helpful. Do we have another Purifying Cleanse? Or are they both out of the deck now? They're both out of the deck. We definitely get rid of our already consuming consume card. We still have one more furnace tap for when he comes back. So let's get another morsel miner, I think. I don't know if that was the right one. I don't think... Oh, there we go. We can... It might have been better to actually put him up top to take out this guy. This is going to be a problem. I think we do that. So that we're set up to... We need Memento Mori, that's what we need. This is not going well. It's these incidental units that I'm struggling to take out. And it didn't help that I got rid of one of my reforms. Am I dead? 12? I'm dead. Actually lost it because I burned that reform. I burned both reforms. I deserve all the ire. Oh, pain, pain. Because we take 10, 11. 10, 11. And we take... Yeah. Boo. Got a good score though. 32,000. All right, I've got to end. I'm going to attempt to redeem myself in a later stream. Oh, that's so hard. That hurts. That hurts. And I can't even blame the game because I burned both of my reforms. Well, that's it for me, guys. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, this will be going on YouTube. I think it's important that everyone shares in my idiocy. So I'll put this on YouTube later. Yeah, so if you liked, feel free to watch my other videos. Check me out on stream. This is an unusual stream. I'm not usually streaming quite at this time every day, but probably tomorrow I will be. Normally I'm streaming evening time CET. So yeah, again, thanks for watching. I will do this challenge again. I think there are different ways to play it out, and I can't let this get me down. So thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate the support, and check you out later.